Hiya Hinsters, welcome back to the channel. Happy Freaky Friday. I hope you're keeping safe and well. And if you are new to the channel, welcome too. Do please consider liking this video if you enjoy it, if you found it helpful, insightful and all that jazz, and subscribing if you haven't already, and click the notification bell as well, and you'll actually get notified as to when Hinny is next on. Alrighty, so we are getting into another month astrology video, which very excitingly is marking the actual transition between the end of the last astrological year and the beginning of a new one. As with my previous month videos, I'll be talking mainly about Piscean energies today. Pisces making up the latter half of February and the first half of March. And I'll be going more in depth with the Aries energy in my future videos. And of course the April 2021 astrology video, so stay tuned for that. And I do want to recommend that you check out my Venus in Pisces video I released recently, because I touch on a lot of the Piscean vibes, and I might not repeat some of them in this video. But what is Pisces? Well, it's a mutable water sign. It's the last of the Mesopotamian sort of 12 sign zodiac, 12 place zodiac. Pisces season marks that sleepy season. Yes, a lot of us are very, very sleepy. Where we hibernate with excitement and anticipation of the new year, which will be kicked off officially with the coming fiery Aries season. Now that the sun is in Pisces, as I make this video, we can expect illumination of Piscean things. We can expect a revitalization of dreams, of spirit, of that all-encompassing kindness. It's quite likely that you have more dreams in Pisces season, so do keep a record or act on the messages received. It's quite likely that you have more dreams in Pisces season, so do keep a record or act on the messages received. Dreams and memories will catch up with us at seemingly random or mundane moments as well in Pisces season. And Pisces also deals in weird synchronicities that seem to immediately bounce off your thoughts. But Pisces season is a bit like hay fever as well. The spiritual sun stirs up in us the spring promised to soon come. Yet we still need space and time to adjust and to let the pollen or the dust of the past settle, to let it blow away in the air, into the yesteryear. Amidst the encroaching excitement, there's that whisper of not yet, not yet. And of course, with Pluto still in Capricorn, we're wise to not be in too much of a hurry to jump into roses and rainbows. Yes, there's still work to be done. There's still pills to be swallowed. We even quite likely still have a few bricks we need to find to complete this sealing up of tombs, this fortification of our new bounds. We're possibly ignited by our resolutions as well, but steady still does it. And Mars is still in Taurus, and to me, it's been a very, in my understanding, my feeling, it's been a very wise Mars this past astro year, wherein our Fool card in the tarot, the Fool energy, has been quite teaching, I think, for us. And especially, considering the Mars retrograde in Aries, which was quite a long time. Pisces season also brings a few other things for us. We can easily get a bit parasitic. And with Venus soon to enter Pisces, we can easily let our boundaries dissolve and let in a whole host of spirits that are at best unhelpful. As I said in the Venus video recently, sleep is the beat right now. And, you know, there is, yes, more light brought to our wishes, and our dreams feel closer and more magical. But a lot of us aren't yet ready, even if we believe we are. You see, Piscean energy loves to confuse us. It loves to have us forget pretty important or pretty basic things. So many astrologers do assign the word romance to Pisces. I think it was the poet Byron who said something like, and I'm paraphrasing, but something like, if I were a romantic all the time, I'd cut myself shaving, which I've always kind of liked. And I also think this is a nice image or saying, helping us keep tabs on the Pisces Virgo axis to channel, if we need to, that Virgoan discernment. With this, I think we're more able to recognize those déjà vu moments, to see them for what they are, to see where we are as well, and to not fall into the fairy ring unless we're fully aware of what's on the other side, unless we're aware of the fact and we accept the fact that the rules over there are completely different to over here. That sort of all that glitters isn't gold thing maintains. Yet we might like pay a dear price if we harness that fool energy too soon or too hopefully. Pisces is also the tiger shark spirit or the shark spirit. I mentioned a couple other sort of archetypes in the Venus video. But, you know, have you ever seen in nature documentaries, for example, where reef sharks or sharks sort of on the reef, they're just like kind of cruising and cruising over and around the reef, right? With loads and loads of other fishes, all different kinds of fish. And they're all so easily the shark's next meal. You know what I mean? It just looks like obvious, right? And yet there's just this like cruising, also this gentleness, almost as though the shark can't even see the easy meals or just how easy it could be. But you know, to my knowledge, lots of sharks, they wait until the night actually to hunt. And perhaps even more surprisingly, some of these littler fishes, they latch onto the shark to nibble away at its dead skin or to clean its teeth. So you see how maybe that cappy crocodile spirit, that archetype, is still very much important now. Pisces, you know, it's about a lot of things, including that sort of all-encompassing, dicey magic where life and death are so close to each other, so intertwined. So this could be, sadly for some people, a month of some loss or some big end, because it is the last sign, it's the last season, it's the end of the end for the new year. And yes, it is this bridge between the death of that one year and the birth of the other year. And I think it's also the time for finishing up your crumbs. And also letting the last of dead things sort of fall away. But letting them fall away, you don't even have to shake, just letting them fall away. And in a gentle way again, falling gently. There's a necessary stillness awaiting. Then, and this is a perfect sort of Pisces Aries energy, we will get that moment when the shark is ready and the strike is made and the meal is had and snapped up. Often seemingly out of nowhere. We snap out of the slumber at some point when the sun hits Aries, most likely. And you know, it's kind of like literally speaking and spiritually speaking, you know how there's this cold snap. Definitely literally in the northern hemisphere, this cold snap, you know, where it's kind of springy, kind of warm, kind of tempting, but then quite out of nowhere, seemingly. There's very, very cold weather, very harsh weather or snow, something like that, which takes us aback and just reminds us that it's not quite spring proper. It's not quite summer. It's not quite the full energy jumping into sort of Aries, Gemini, Taurus stuff yet. we, spiritually speaking as well, will get that sort of cold snap reminder, some of us, from a person or from an institution, a kind of cold rejection or reception will be experienced, which is just kind of reminding us to stay asleep for a bit more, to stay incubated just a bit more, to hold some dreams and wishes and fantasies just a little bit longer before we very vulnerably, actually, Aries is a very vulnerable energy, but before we very vulnerably and bravely put out and kick out and jump out, Pisces season, though, as well, is full of a certain sweet, sort of nice etiquette, actually, I always find. And sometimes it seems like it comes out of nowhere again, this sweetness this time. And you might not even realize just how much you touch another person with some particular gesture. Like, someone else could remember your gesture forever. It's so little or insignificant to you, they could remember it forever. And, it's a good time, I think, to bake a cake, to cook a casserole, to whatever. But to offer, when you bake that thing or cook that thing, to offer that first slice or that first portion to someone else, maybe anyone else, but also to ensure that your sincerity was put into the making of this offering. It's an excellent time, I think, to offer food to animals, to offer back to nature in some way, to the fae, to passing strangers, and in a sort of sacrificial way that doesn't feel like you're losing something, but rather giving something. You might make a really nice latte, or you open up a nice chilled can of Coke or a beer, and it's like you're letting someone else have that first sip over yourself. You are offering that freshness, that spring energy. It's that sort of just about ready warmth or sizzle or fizz that you're ready so gently to give, to offer up to another person or another situation or another whatever. And you too will be experiencing that soon after, or alongside even. We all will. And so it's not about like serving yourself first, And we really do, I think, in Pisces season, appreciate the entirety of what is the world card in the tarot, entirety. And we are coming, I think, to appreciate the imperfection of things, like a crack in a vase or like in an ornament, which doesn't take away from that thing, but in fact adds a certain charm. Pisces is all about charm. It adds also a sign of experience over simply an ideal or someone's vision. And I do also feel that in Pisces season, a lot of sick people will get better. This time especially, as we will have the Sun eventually conjuncting Neptune, and when sort of revitalization comes so readily alongside these themes of endings and closings, there might of course be an increasing rejoice in all substances and chemical experiences that get us high. So some of us will have to be careful about a sort of the best way I can describe it is a sort of last minute addiction that might jump back into our lives and set off a repeated long cycle. And Pisces risings especially will likely be getting more attention. They'll be having more illumination of things, more realizations about themes like the body, health and spirit. To Pisces suns, of course, happy birthday. Do let us know, by the way, if you're watching, where you have Pisces in your birth chart, and we can talk about what themes are likely to be a highlight for you. Maybe even right now, with the Sun in Pisces, you're getting this highlight. Now, we will, of course, get to Aries season in the middle of March, and this will be the beginning of our collective spiritual spring and the new astro year. It's going to be, just very briefly today, but it's going to be this big bang time to get entrepreneurial about our intentions. It's, to start jumping up at the themes of the houses where you have Aries in your birth chart. It's that true effective time for embarking on resolutions. It's that true intentional spark. Alrighty then, let's get onto the transits, and let's just start with March 1st, just as a kind of opening up of the season, because at March 1st, you know, Venus will be in Pisces. It's in Pisces right now, but it's still going to be in Pisces. And also it's going to be under the beams of the sun, which is something that I'm learning about, and thanks to my scholarship with Achyuta Bhavadasa and my traditional astrology course, I'm learning about this, planets being under the beams of the sun and within 15 degrees of the sun, this sense, this interpretation that the planet under those beams is understood to be weakened or hidden. And so this is Venus here. So Venus, being so close to the sun, would therefore give a weakened or invisibilized Venus. And definitely when Venus was in Aquarius, close to the sun, I think a lot of us have felt that. However, or if not weakened, invisible, you know. However, because Venus enters exaltation in the sign of Pisces, and that's where Venus is now, traditional astrologers describe, from my understanding, this as Venus gaining a kind of chariot, and like a shielded chariot as well, with a hood. And therefore, Venus suddenly is more protected and re-empowered, even though it's under the beams of the sun. So I'm almost reading this as a sort of time of super exaltation for Venus. So I'm really excited, especially for the Pisces risings who watch me, who know me. Let us know what your experiences are. It's just about to heat up this super exaltation for you. So I'm really excited, but also collectively for us. I think with this exalted Venus, protected under the beams of the sun for so long, right now into sort of late March, I think it's a brilliant time for attraction, a brilliant time for vibing, relating, a brilliant time for beauty, a brilliant time for sanctifying, for caring, for purifying. So let us know how this is affecting you. And yeah, I do think we'll get some very good things from Venus, at least up until March 22nd. And on that date, Venus enters Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, but Venus will eventually enter Aries. And when that happens, this is the sign where Venus is in detriment. So Venus doesn't do so well, it is said, in Aries. And this is really going to affect the tone of the full moon that we're going to have in Libra on March 28th. Now we have a full moon in Virgo coming up very soon, tomorrow, literally, officially. So check my video out on that, which I just released. But the next full moon in Libra is happening, basically opposing this Venus, which is now becoming, by that time, weakened in Aries, and still under the beams of the sun. To me, that full moon is one of the most significant events of March, because the moon will be in Libra, the ruler of which is Venus. Venus rules Libra, and we know that Venus is going to be in that pretty much encumbered sort of state at that time. So basically I'm reading like there is going to be this switch, and the full moon is going to be more of potentially one of those more difficult or negative full moons, perhaps having something to do with decisions, balancing, justice, and other sort of Libran flavors. Of course, we all have to check in with our charts and to see where this full moon is going to fall. But still, on this full moon in Libra, the moon will be opposing the sun, which again is exalted in Aries, and opposing Venus, which is in detriment in Aries, and which is under the beams of the sun without that chariot. So doubly weakened. So Venus is going from this like doubly exalted, super exalted state to a pretty debilitated state. And Chiron is going to be in the mix as well at the time of the full moon. Chiron also being in Aries. So anyway, let's just talk more about that. Let's wait for my full moon in Libra video for more on that, and we'll unpack all that jazz. But that's enough from me, Hinny, here at Queer Hinny. I'm a spiritual astrologer, if you didn't know, and you can check out my details below if you'd like a reading with me or to inquire, maybe with a collaboration. If you're a YouTuber, a creator, an astrologer, and you like what I do, you feel like we can intersect in some way, get in touch. I'd love to work with you. But that's it from me. Happy rest of the weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Mwah.